Hello, my name is Miss Murphy and I'm the subject leader for RE. I'm just going to talk you through this evening some information about the GCSE course and how best students can access resources and prepare for their Year 10 assessments and then their Year 11 GCSEs. All students complete the same exam in GCSE RE, which is the EDUCAS Route B exam. And you can see on the screen here the specification overview. So component 1 is foundational Catholic theology, which is origins and meanings and good and evil. This is an hour and a half written exam. Component 2 is applied Catholic theology, which is life and death and sin and forgiveness. Again, this is a 1.5 hour written exam. And finally, component 3 is study of a world faith, Judaism, where they look at the beliefs, teachings and practices. This is worth a little bit less, this is worth 25%, and it is a 1 hour written exam. All students will sit 3 written examinations in total, which will focus on knowledge, understanding and evaluation, and they will go through the set A, B, C, D skills, A to define, B to describe, C to explain, and D to discuss and evaluate. Now, so far we have studied Judaism at the end of Year 9, which we do then review in Year 10 and in Year 11, and we have just finished the Sin and Forgiveness unit. We will then move on to the Good and Evil unit, and then the Origins and Meaning unit, followed by Life and Death, which we begin and complete in the first term of Year 11. So in January for the Data Point 1 exam, all Year 10s will be completing a 1 hour paper which will cover a range of topics from what they have studied so far. So this will be on sin and forgiveness and Judaism. So that will be recalling information from the end of Year 9 and the start of Year 10. This will be a completely unseen paper and students have all been provided with a list to prepare. In RE, all students in all year groups do have both a class teams page and a year groups teams page. The example that you can see on the screen here is the Year 10 page. And I'm just going to talk you through some of the things that we use this teams page for. So you can see that there's an example post which we've quite recently posted for January exams Data Point 1. We have lots of students in Year 10 who wanted to be prepared prior to the Christmas break so that they could start their revision over the Christmas break and in those first 2 weeks of January. So here we use the Year 10 page to ensure that all Year 10s are getting the exact same message, where we've sent a checklist so that they can prepare for both sin and forgiveness and Judaism. And within that checklist, there are links that they simply click on and it takes them to a video to revise, or it might take them to a revision guide to revise, or a keyword list. But it's very straightforward. They can use that document to click through everything that they need to use to prepare for their exams. So we do use this page for exam preparation. We use it for topic breakdown. So as you can see on the left there, we've got each of the exam papers that I've just spoken through, so the students can focus their revision on certain papers as and when they need to. And you can also see a GCSE revision session channel. This is the channel where we share all of the resources from our revision sessions. So this year we join Year 10 and 11 together for their GCSE revision sessions on Wednesdays after school, and all of the practice questions and resources that we use and complete together are shared just after each session so that students can access them at home. And this page is just used for general notices and reminders, regular updates, resources. Students can find lessons, practice questions, practice papers. So the Year 10 page is a really good page for Year 10s to access when they just want to focus on revision as opposed to individual class resources. As you can see on the screen there, it also mentions homework. Now your homework isn't set on the Year 10 page, it is set on the individual class pages, so individual teachers set homework, and that will come up just where it says assignments there. Students just click through to assignments and they will find their homework there. Here is just an example of the GCSE revision channel where you can see that we've been posting messages just to keep Year 10s in the loop of what we are revising. Occasionally we are studying topics that Year 10 haven't actually covered yet, but this is brilliant for getting them ahead and actually allowing them to make those interlead links between different topics as they move through the course. And what we found really beneficial is the Year 10s have been supporting Year 11s with their Year 10 topics in Year 11s, are then supporting Year 10s with the skills that they need and adding additional sources and links to topics that they've not covered yet. So as you can see there on the bottom, revision sessions are shared straight away so that students can go and access, add to them, complete them if we're only halfway through a task. And if they're unable to attend revision, they know that they can go straight to the Teams page and access those resources. These down as clearly as possible. So when students go into GCSE revision sessions at the moment, I have consciously only included a Judaism folder and a Sin and Forgiveness folder here, just so that students have really clear instructions as to what is on their next data point exam. So when they want to revise Judaism, they will simply click on the Judaism folder and work through the resources there. The same for forgiveness, and you can see that there is a GCSE keyword booklet there as well. So when students want to practice and test themselves on keywords, they can use that booklet to do so. Useful resources for the GCSE EduCast Route B scheme of learning is the Miss Watson RE page. Now, Miss Watson provides a one-stop revision tool for the GCSE course. It includes revision guides, revision activities, links to videos, past papers. It does a walk through the exam. It's got Quizlet, Kahoot, YouTube videos, and it's got all three of the components. Now, students do have an electronic copy of each of the resources, which is directly saved onto Teams. So the files section that I just showed you on the year group team, and that is also in each class team, students can access these revision booklets, and they are brilliant. I'll show you an example on the next slide of the task booklets, but they provide an overview of each topic. They provide a variety of revision activities, and as I say, they will give lots of guidance on people that they should know, sources of wisdom, and how to access exam questions. So students can access this via Teams, but they can also use the website. The link is on this slide and is also shared via Teams. And here is just an example of one of those task mats. They really are brilliant. They summarise the topics really clearly. The tasks are varied. So if students find a topic particularly challenging, they can work through the knowledge check first, which is basically like comprehension. So it's short, quick questions which students will be able to answer using the information on that page. They will then have some tasks that they can choose from, which are designed to help students to revise. And they will have what we call application, which is an exam question. So they then apply that learning to a B, a C, or a D skilled question. So a describe, an explain, or a discuss. So you can see the example here is all about pilgrimage, which typically is one of the topics that students find more challenging in the good and evil unit. So they would use this then at home or in school, because we do have copies in school as well, to work through the topic, quiz themselves, revise, and then assess using an exam question. To homework, Year 10, the same as Year 11, have all of their homework set via Teams, and via Teams they will be given a link to Seneca each week. Seneca is brilliant because it provides both information and revision resources, and then it also includes assessment questions where students get instant feedback. So as you can see on the board here, an example from Origins and Meanings, they will be given a short talk through of Genesis, for example. It will give them sources, it will give them information, interpretations of Genesis. And then the next step will be that students will then be given a set of questions, as you can see on the bottom right of the screen there. Students are then able to complete the questions. We are then informed really quickly of how long it's taken the students, so how long they've taken. And this isn't a test to see how quickly students can complete their work. Actually, it's quite the opposite. What we can see is which students have clearly taken the time to work through the information, to make notes as they're going through it, and then to apply it to the questions. So actually, it's much better if we can see that a student has spent 1 hour on one of the tasks because we know that the likelihood is then that they've actually got their notebook in front of them, they've made notes as they've been going through, they've highlighted their sources, and then they've done the quiz questions, as opposed to a student who may do it in 1 minute and they've sort of just skipped through and done the quiz. The best way to use these homeworks is to make notes as you go. It's a really brilliant way of revising, and then to apply to the questions. What they should then do is any questions that they haven't got correct, they should again make note of that so that they know which topics they need to go back and revise and review. So homework is crucial for every subject in making progress. And in RE, we try and keep it as straightforward as possible. It is always set on a Friday and is always due the next Friday. If students feel that they are working through Seneca very quickly, they can, like some students have, come to us and we will provide additional homework, which is generally in the form of the booklets that I've just spoken through. I'm just going to talk through a way of revising called folding frenzy. This is something that we've recently come across last year, and it worked brilliantly in helping our Year 11s to prepare for their GCSEs last year. So on the screen here you can see an overview. All students need is a sheet of A4 paper and 2 to 3 coloured pens. So they begin by making notes on one A4, they fold it and shorten it down to a mind map, they fold it again and shorten that down to a flashcard with bullet points, and they fold it one more time to create a small card of symbols, and they then use that in reverse to test themselves. So I'll just show you an example of each stage with the topic of Judaism. Students will take an A4 sheet, they will decide which topic, and they will write their title and any subheadings throughout their revision notes. And the aim is that students will write everything that they know about that topic. So for example, here you can see Judaism, beliefs and teachings. They'll write everything down that they know about that topic in one coloured pen. What they should then do is get their revision, so whether that be their class book, the revision guide, BBC Bite Size, whichever resource they are using, and they should then add anything in a different colour which they didn't manage to recall from memory only. And what students should be used to is underlining or highlighting sources of wisdom and keywords so that they know that they stand out. And fold that A4 piece of paper in half, and they will then try from memory to mind map everything that they've just written about on the previous page. So it should be shorter and it should be in mind map form. And similarly, they should write everything that they can remember from memory, and they should then grab a different coloured pen, go back to the notes page and check anything that they missed. And anything that they missed, they should then write in that second colour. Once again, students will fold that mind map so that it is then half the size again and create a flashcard. Now a flashcard should be very, very short. It should just be bullet points. At this point, the piece of paper is relatively small, so it should be bullet points. Again, they fill out their flashcard with what they can remember. They then go back, check the mind map. Did they miss anything? If so, they add it in a separate colour. And what this separate colour does is it just reminds the student of those key concepts that they need to revise and review. The final step is to fold it one more time and to then fill this side with symbols. So students can then use these symbols to trigger their memory. Again, this should be done from memory. What symbols come to mind when they think about everything that they've been writing in this revision session, which they then can use to trigger their memory so that eventually they can look just at the symbols and they should be able to recall everything that's on that first notes page. And then the most useful part of this is that they can then use that to test themselves. So the idea is that students will then start with their symbols in front of them, and they should be able to verbalise that topic just looking at the symbols. They should then fold that out, and anything that they missed on the flashcard they would want to star or highlight. They should then try and add to their flashcard what can they recall from the mind map. They then do the same with the mind map, what can they recall, and when they finally get back to that notes page, highlight anything which they didn't manage to recall. And again, that gives the students that reminder of what key concepts do they need to really focus on now with their revision. Which key quotes, for example, do they keep missing? Which key words are they missing? And that will be the focus of their revision. What students can then do to extend their learning is design a B, a C or a D question on that topic and complete the question using those notes. So just to finish, with regards to revision and exams, as I have mentioned, Teams is probably the best resource that students have this year. They're very lucky to have every single lesson that they study on their class Teams and all of the revision guides and sources of wisdom and keywords and revision resources all on those Teams pages for each year group. Now, in addition to that, students can attend and are more than welcome to attend revision sessions every Wednesday in the RE department. They can go to any teacher. So myself, Miss Murphy, Mr Drowsky, Mr Aston and Mr Mills, all 4 classrooms run revision every Wednesday from 3:20 until 4:20 p.m. This is generally student directed, so students are able to tell us which topics they want us to complete with them that week, and that often allows students to actually choose which room they go to depending on whether they want to do practice questions or folding frenzies, or whether they want to do Judaism or sin and forgiveness. As I mentioned earlier, students are working with Year 11s in these sessions, which is proving to be really, really useful this year. If students and parents would like to purchase revision guides, they are also available via Parent Pay. They are £8 on Parent Pay and they are in stock with myself. So if they are purchased, students just need to bring their receipt to me and I can provide them with that straight away. Thank you very much for listening. Just a reminder that my email is on the board there. Please do contact if you need anything at all or if you have any further questions. And as always, students are able to contact their own teachers or myself via Teams or by coming to us in the RE department if they ever need anything additional. Thank you very much.